Hey guys, Axe here. Quick thing before the video. If you or anyone you know is ever contemplating suicide, tell someone, get that out, even if it might seem incredibly painful, embarrassing, anything like that. Those little things have a much larger impact than you think. So, I hope you enjoy the video. Hey, greetings and salutations everybody, my name is Axe, and happy Friday. It is time for an episode of Team Fortress Friday, the show, where every Friday I take topics suggested by you people, the community, all you lovely people. I pick one, I talk about it, I play TF2 to it, and the topics can vary from anything from light, anything actually, really, except for political and religious, I try to avoid. But anyways, the reason I'm not as hyped or energetic in this beginning of this video is because today's Team Fortress Friday topic is a much heavier topic. And I want to put out, well, I guess I'll say first, this week's TFF shoutout goes to the Nikolaki 8. Again, I realized I did this one recently, but suicide. I'd like you to talk about this because a good friend of mine, well, I'm just paraphrasing, because my good friend a while ago committed suicide due to bullying. I thank you beyond what I have in the past if you choose this topic. First off, I'm very sorry to hear. I hope you're doing okay. I hope things in life are alright for you. I hope things haven't stood too still. And it does get better, though it's always going to be there. I'd like to put this, not as a disclaimer, but just kind of a check of things. The position I'm in is very difficult because though I would not say it's accurate, I can be portrayed at times as this like all-knowing being, so to speak. Like the position I'm in allows it so that there are moments where like I feel like it looks like I have advice for everything, or I have insight into everything. I like to point out that I just share experiences and my thoughts on things. I am just a person like you. I am the same as you. I'm not above or below you. So it's difficult for me at times to talk about stuff like this because though I do have some experience and insight, or well, I don't even want to say that, even though I might have stuff to talk about with this, know that I am not if what I say helps you, that's all I hope. But I don't know all the right words to say. And I hope I do okay in this video. Suicide is very two ways. There's the part of those around the person who are all affected and the actual victim, so to speak. And as in your case, you were around this friend of yours. You were very close. Suicide in a lot of ways, I kind of have put the analogy of like a calm pond and throwing a big rock in the center of it. If you're close to that person, you're really going to feel that impact much deeper than those further away. That can be into many cases. But it's the loss of someone, I think, that hurts. And the questioning of what could have I done differently to help that person. What if I did this? What if I did this? What if I did this? Those things are beyond you. You can't change those things. I myself have never had I've never had a close friend or family member commit suicide. I have had close friends and family members talk about it and contemplate it, or be at a point to where I was afraid that they would. And it's so fragile to talk about and so fragile to take these feelings and put them into words. It's just, there are times that when that happens, you can start to think to yourself it's not actual anger, it's more of just like the pain talking, but like, didn't you care about, like, did you ever think about us? Did you ever think about me? Did you ever think about these people it would affect in your life if you did that? And the answer is yes, they do. They have thought of those things, if in most situations, at least from my experience. You do think of those things. You realize, you see what it's like with you gone. You imagine it, and you think of how people would react to you. So, as painful as it can be, know that if somebody has done that, nobody simply just wakes up after a good life and goes, you know, I think I'm going to just end it today. That's something that has taken so much pain and so many thoughts of just, this is never going to end, this is never going to end, this is never going to end, into consideration, into the mind. And I speak very plainly at times, but it's to, one, understand greater audiences how I talk, and two, it's just, I don't know, I hope that I'm not making this sound much simpler and easygoing as it is. It's a very painful topic. You have to know that the actions were pretty much beyond your control. And yes, there are probably things you could have done to help. There are things that you could do to help anybody. In the end of the day, they made that choice because they felt helpless, and they felt they had to. So hopefully there is some pity and understanding there. For those, I myself, during my depressional stuff, I didn't like it. I didn't ever like the idea of suicide. I never have liked it. I still don't like, in the sense, like me personally doing it. But at my worst, it wasn't constant, but I had moments of suicidal thoughts. Not like all the time, but just once in a while. I remember one day, I was coming home, and I'm like, this is my last day. This is my last day of everything. I just remembered saying, I said goodbye to people at school. I looked at them straight in the eye. I'm like, bye, I'll see you later. In my head, thought, this is the last time I'm ever going to see them. This is the last time I'm ever going to see these people. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. And I remember coming home. I live on a cliff. It's not what you think. Like, it is a cliff, but it's tall enough to where I was contemplating jumping off it. And I knew in the back of my head that it wasn't high enough to kill me. Unless I hit a rock down below, or a tree, or something. Unless I hit one of the very painful objects that was at the bottom, I probably would not die on impact. And that scared me. The biggest thing that scared me was having a non-swift and painless thing. But anyways, I hated the idea. But I stood there on the edge of the cliff, and I thought about everything. I'm like, what is it that I have left? You know, why am I still here? This isn't going to get better. It's never going to get better. This is never going to end. I felt like I was in a helpless situation. And I'd like to say, I would love to come up here and say that the reason I didn't jump was because this inner will inside of me sparked up and says, you have so much to live with life, and I ran off with a vigor. But to be honest, I think a lot of the time that I didn't jump because I was afraid of dying. I fear death. I don't like that idea or concept. It's not as much that of itself of what comes after that scares me. And I didn't want that. And so I will, not to say to give myself credit, but there was a small voice deep inside of me that said, hey, don't do it. It can get better. You just gotta hold in there. But for the most part, it was my own fears that kept me from doing that. But ever since I walked away that day, I've never regretted that decision that I walked away. Because after that, all my stuff that was bothering me did end. And all my problems started to fade away. And I started to realize what it all meant. And now, I sit here more humbled and fortunate that I can ever be, making it a better person among it. And it's not easy. I don't expect it to be, but you gotta hang in there. If you have a topic for next week, post in the comments below. Nothing political or religious, please. I'll see you all later, and have an amazing weekend. Thank you. Betrayal is not a fun thing to deal with, because not only does it hurt you, but it really destroys your trust in others. It goes beyond just that relationship. If you have a bad relationship, that's one thing, but like